Alright. We're gonna watch your VOD. I don't even have it up. Whoops. Let's import one. Nope, I don't even have it open. Sorry. Usually I start with it on the VOD all set up. Let's take a look. Watch point. Hoelli.
I can't wait to see you all in action.
If I'm saying their name wrong, sorry in advance.
Ready for battle.
Okay. So this is like a silver game?
4,
Okay, cool.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Also, I'm working, so if I ever just randomly pause and mute,
The payload.
Out of the lab,
it's probably that.
onto the battlefield.
Okay, so oh yeah, baby.
Let's get to that
Great.
Probably shouldn't have woken up that Reinhardt. And there you go. Kind of got murdered. I noticed that you don't really look like you're planning anywhere when you're jumping, so
Thanks, Dr. Ziegler.
that would definitely be my first suggestion.
Ich bin da.
Is kind of jump more with a plan in mind.
Healing stream engaged.
Right now it just looks like you just kind of jump away from the enemy. It doesn't really matter where you land, but you should... Winston's want to think about where they're going.
That's teamwork.
Like you should have landed there. Yeah, I see why you switched to Zarya. I don't think Winston... I think Winston needs some work. I won't comment on it too hard.
Once more unto the breach.
Together we are strong.
Roadhog time.
You needed a doctor?
Get in there. Get into position.
You almost woke up that Nano Symmetra.
You look tired. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Без труда не вытащишь и рыбку из пруда.
It's still a long VOD. No, only 18 minutes. I guess that's not that long. That's a little long. Right now I'm just kind of watching along.
Promising, but not good enough.
My ultimate is ready.
Barrier activated.
Okay, so you're telling me not to analyze every bubble, but it's kind of hard not to. I think your bubble management is not very good, or rather, why you bubble, or what a bubble is good for, is pretty lacking. Yeah, so you guys get totally rolled here. Yeah.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
And that could be for a couple different reasons. I'd say that overall, I felt like you would put yourself in a position where the team needed to use resources to keep you alive, and you weren't getting any value out of it. So, let's talk about this. This particularly was the moment where I was like, most concerned. Like, so right now your right clicks like do no damage, like very little. So like, for reference, you need to look at it from Reinhardt's perspective in this terms. So you want to see how much your right clicks are doing? I'll show you. At 1342, this Reinhardt literally hasn't dropped his shield. Right, give him a second. He's gonna get a little recharge. But this same sequence from his perspective, he puts this up like 100 damage. I mean, the Roadhog's also shooting it, so he's taking a couple different sources, but your bubbles like don't do that much damage to his shield. He doesn't really care about you. Then in terms of what you're doing versus, because there's some information that you definitely saw or like observed and like you didn't act upon it. You should try to deduce these things. So this sequence again, like you saw this Roadhog go in here, but then you see him come out and do a wrap. Like you definitely saw it. So like, you know he's going this way. Like there's no other way he could go unless he came back out here and you saw him again. So it's safe to assume that this Roadhog is now going to become a pressure here at this door. Like if you know this information, it's safe to assume that none of your teammates know, right? So you need to just be ready for that when that time comes. Sorry, this is an alarm. Hey man, I gotta make money. Life ain't free. Okay, so. Oh, thing's freaking out. Stop that. Okay. Well, I got a headset on a headset. It's a long story. But you definitely saw this Roadhog go around. So like, I know you saw it. Maybe you didn't register that information, but that's just kind of goes to the not using all the information that you're like visually given. Maybe it's just like a visual overload or what have you, but it's one of those things. So like, you guys are still okay right here at this moment. It becomes not okay when you like go for this wide angle and you stick your nose out. You pop the shield, but you gotta again think about like the enemies you're dealing with, like Roadhog, Symmetra, Reaper. These are close range heroes. With Reinhardt, none of them can shoot really long distance. So why did you pop this shield here? No one is close to you. None of them are gonna shoot you, right? You need to consider like the only thing you would be afraid of is a Roadhog hook, and you can't even see the Roadhog, so you have no idea. You don't actually know why you pop this shield here. Which is obviously a huge waste, and then you don't get any value from it. When you're dealing with short range heroes, you are also kind of short range, so it's okay to be closer to the corner and show them less of you and make them come to you, or like, because then you can like be here and you can help like contest the carts so they can't go around this bend, and they'll have to like step into you guys, which gives your like DPS or your other players more opportunity. It's silver bronze, so players aren't probably going to capitalize as much, so you need to do the best you can to enable your team. But yeah, you get separated there, just whatever, and you guys lose this round. Okay, so let's zoom forward.
Ready for battle.
Got some more time. Okay.
I am moving the sailor. Falling
You put yourself in a really dangerous position, just like going for these like weird wide angle. I have a bubble, so this is really risky, but I do like the aggression.
Double kill. I will not be denied.
I cast this forth. Barrier activated. I am even stronger.
You're not really shooting things, you're just kind of shooting the wall, so.
Hit me.
I think you focus too much on the tanks a little bit. I would say maybe aim less at them. Like that, in that instance, when Reinhardt was in that position, blocking cart and not being supported, it's perfectly fine to go for him. I just meant like, but you kind of like prioritized him over everyone else, which I don't think is optimal. You're gonna go up here and grab, aren't you?
Get in there.
No? Okay.
Don't take long. I'm on fire. I will lead us to victory. You're covered. Огонь по готовности.
Nice.
See what I can do.
Ah. Sadly, I didn't get the Roadhog too, but did bait out Nano, so not all lost. Are you guys gonna be stuck at this corner for 6 minutes? Oh man.
Give me your best shot. I'm just warmed up. Allow me to repair the damage. Barrier's on you.
Yeah, so you definitely bubbled him right when that soldier started reloading his gun. So like obviously he's not gonna be shooting when they're all returning around the corner. I think you think about it too late. About when just bubble people sooner than you think you need to. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna put you in situations where you can't handle the response to it. Okay, so this is a prime. This is a good one here. It's a positioning thing, right? So your decision making up until this point was good. It immediately became a bad decision when you rotated over to the back side of the card here. Like, because Roadhog's coming in, like you see him, like Reinhardt still hasn't given up, so it's clear that they are like ready to fight, and like all of their, so like this lane with their DPS and like everyone else here, this is like death lane, right? This is like their kill zone because they're all aiming down this way, and like Reinhardt's keeping you guys from progressing forward. Roadhog's holding the corner, which means only you and Roadhog can see him, and he can't help you guys. And then your other three are here. I forget. And you have a person on respawn, right? So you guys are down a person. So they definitely want this fight because it's a 5v6 and it favors them. So when Roadhog recognizes that he is in a not so good of a spot, he like kind of rotates. He's using the cart. But the reason this soldier pops his ult is because you are now like too far forward, and like they're gonna wrap around you like this. He's like, okay, I can just walk around the Zarya. You're currently beaming literal air, so you know. I'm just kidding. The Moira's faded. So but you see how like you had moved in a way that's put you at opposite ends of everyone else. McCree wants to, Cass wants to fight you. Moira probably wants to fight you too. But other than Roadhog, there's now no one stopping the soldier from using his visor to kill your teammates. So they have no choice but to run. Like, obviously he kills the Moira and he's about to kill that Ashe, and that's why Mercy goes and hides in here. But you are now completely isolated. Roadhog can't even save you from this. So, yep. So I would just say that was a bad decision there. You wanted to play more with the team, and you guys also wanted to wait a little bit longer while your Junkrat returned. Usually, ideally, taking 5v6s is not ideal. Unless absolutely necessary. Obviously, it's bronze, silver, so your teammates are just gonna roll in. Good protection bubble. Ah, the soldier knows the truth. Yeah. That soldier counters your tank composition by being up there. You guys are complaining about healing, but you can see that your healers aren't even there. They're like elsewhere, right? So obviously they're not going to heal you. I'm sorry, but what did I just watch? What just happened?
Need healing.
Okay, first off, you don't even need healing. You have 400 health. So I don't know why you're spamming need healing. Maybe it's to bring the healers back, but... That soldier gave up his... Oh, no, he's still up. He's still on the side there. Damn, he just came flying in. Bro, where's your graph? Where did it go off to? I want to see what made this Reinhardt... Oh, he just jumped around the corner. Dang. Unlucky. Aim at walls, if you can. Usually like up here or something. That give you a lot of opportunity. I would have also considered grabbing this soldier down, because the tank's role is to help give DPS space, right? You always hear this term like, oh, let's make space. Let's make space. Dude, this soldier, that whole fight is just up here. He does fall down at one point, but he just returns back up. It's like, you guys are ready to start this fight, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just shoot for free. This soldier's having the time of his life. And that's because this spot counters, essentially, your medium range, low ground fighting style. You can just sit up here and he's just shooting you. He's just reload, shoot again. He's already built a new visor, because he can just feed off the Roadhog, because the Roadhog can't approach him because their team is controlling the corner. And he is just having a game. See what I'm trying to say though is that, like, you guys aren't creating effective space because you're just pressuring the other tanks, and their tanks want to keep you here, so they're like ready to fight for this corner, because they know you can't last in the corner. You can't last in this area as long as they are, because they are doing damage. I don't know if this soldier comes down. I think he hears the Mercy, and he's like worried that the Mercy is going to come after him. Oh, the Moira went after him. See, like, your support is like the one who recognized that. So if you're dealing with this situation where you have like a soldier up here, you want to rotate to assist. Like, see how like your two teammates went this way? You guys should have went this way. Like, you should go with them to help remove that threat, because all you got to do is just chase them down. You don't actually have to control this area, but you want to deny them this area. Because like, he was just going to try again. He's like, I could probably go back up there. That's when he discovered the Junkrat, and you could have been there to help him, but you know, you guys are playing middle like this. Yeah, I know that the Rhine and the Roadhog and Anna, like, this is a big threat here, right? Because they can kind of control the space with the shield, and then they can hook and punish your Roadhog. So your Roadhog can barely do anything, but you're also really not doing anything either, because you are spending so much time tickling a shield that you're not like getting value. Junkrat's role would be the one to prevent that. So go here. That one was a little delayed, but she didn't die, so I guess that's fine. Yeah, like, I feel like you don't look up at all. Like, you kind of don't really know what's going on. It looks like a little bit of panic, or like, but I feel like you just like don't see what's happening in front of you. I think you need to focus more on what your enemies are doing. Unlucky. I was waiting for you to kind of bubble that Bob. I thought you were going to. That sleeping Bob. See, I don't know what you're bubbling for. Now you have to push against this Ryan without it. If I was that Roadhog and I hooked you, you'd be dead. DED. Like that hook though. If I don't, yeah. Ooh. So you guys do cap this. I thought you said you got stuck at the corner. I feel lied to. I mean, a little betrayed.
Score 3-3.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. So yeah, I definitely think it's your resource management. I think is going to be your big one. Your aim doesn't even seem terrible. I mean, you did miss a grab and you miss a lot of your right clicks, but it could certainly be worse. I just feel like you use your bubbles at like inopportune times, and then you're not getting any value out of them. Your energy value is really low, like crazy low. Their comp is pretty hard to get value from, per se. You could easily be bubbling mainly your Roadhog. You don't want to do it, especially when he like goes to try to hook somebody, because he's like vulnerable in that time, and he's probably put himself in a position to be vulnerable and to like help counter Anna sleeps and stuff like that. You did mention in your post that you were like, oh, should I have picked a different hero? And the answer to that is really what you're comfortable playing. I think as a bronze silver player, I think maybe sticking to one hero and like mastering that hero is probably going to be more beneficial than knowing like a pool of heroes, because I think your main thing is like positioning also. But at least you're like taking this nice and slow, which is good for this case, but they overextended here. So did your Moira, but you have good energy, yeah. But see, like you're not really right-clicking anybody. Like you're right-clicking where you think people are gonna be, but that's not what you should do. You should be right-clicking where people are. Like, there you go, see? That's fine. Like, sometimes I just feel like you're just shooting them around the corner just for, like, the sake of shooting them. That was always a bubble. But that is whatever. See, like, right now, I understand you're on cart, but you should be... In this scenario, you wanted to be up here to, like, push them out. And the reason is... I'll just try to give it to you real quick. Whoa. Oh, gross. Okay. So, right now, it's like, oh, yeah, we need to push the cart, you know? Well, you just want to fight. You want to control this area here, or, like, push that McCree out, because there's only 2 of them. You could be up here with your Roadhog and your Mercy, while... the other drones like push the cart, right? I know there's like a small fear of it, but at least some of you understand. But you could comfortably, rather than being here, you could even be like right here, but ideally you want to be up here. The reason you want to be up here is that you want to deny them this space, or like pressure them into using their alts to get into this space. So like right now they are like, okay, well, we got to take this back, you know, we want to stop them here, right? So they're going to be like, we want to invest our ultimates to, or they want to invest their resources to get to this point and stop it from being captured. Whereas, what you want them to do is use the resources here to push into this space. But instead, what's going to happen is that they're going to get to here, use their resources to push onto the cart, which gives them more control about when the fight starts. See, like they're already moving over, and now they're like, okay, well now we now have the space, and now you guys have no choice but to exist less in this space because we're gonna push onto you, and that's exactly what's happening. Like this, so yeah.
Score 3.
Alright, let's see what happens in your defense.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3.
Don't bubble for
1.
what you perceive might be possibly be incoming damage.
On the back.
Stop the payload.
Try to bubble more for things you know are going to be big damage. Pretty much if you know that Reaper's going to dive on somebody. Anytime you see your Roadhog has that like little yellow dinker above him, probably okay to bubble him, you know, like a little thing in the game. You can't see it in replays, but Reaper got the registry there. Yeah, I don't quite understand that process. You kind of jumped down in front of them and separated yourself from the team. Like, you're like, oh, the whole team should have dropped down, right? No, not really. This right here, this jump down is like the riskiest thing you can do on this map. Because, God, please stop. Okay, so, like, when you were up here, like, your DPS, Mercy is damage boosting your DPS, which helps give them a good angle. Your Symmetra's kind of playing up here. Your Roadhogs can try to control them from pushing this area. I mean, he's kind of in the right spot. Moira's gone a little deep. I think she's a little tilted at this point, but you can't control your game outcomes this way. Like, maybe she's just playing with you, who knows? But your Roadhog's basically given no choice but to come assist you because you're about to, like, there's where their team is, and this is where your team is. Like, you have now put a wall, essentially a wall between you and your team. So, sorry, I thought that was funny. She's like, what's shooting me? But yeah, Roadhog can survive, but I mean he won't. But your teammates are playing up here and you separated yourself. I mean, like, yeah, stopping them's fine, but almost always you should always hold this area until either the cart is like completely behind it, in which case you can rotate this way and then drop down, even kind of in front of it. But you want to deny this area more. But now, you guys didn't do that. They can teleport in and cause their own problems. Right, now they're cleaning out the top. Now they've secured both areas. And then just like last time, where it's like, oh, look at what their tanks are going to do. Because I think he's going to do. See, Roadhog recognizes it, and even though Reinhardt doesn't recognize it right away, he kind of figures it out. Their Roadhog's like, I'm going to go here and I'm going to stop them. I'm going to make them use resources to get into this area. Because I know they're going to want to come this way, and I can keep them, I can prevent them from the cart, or I'm going to give them no choice but to do things they don't want to. And he gets his ult, and then yeah, now he's just like locked out this area. There's almost no way you guys get there. So,
Victory.
I would say that I don't think Zarya was necessarily a bad choice. I just think that you almost got no value. I think you got to work on getting value with more, because I don't think you even got a grab in either of these scenarios, like either of these like post round things, if I remember correctly. And that's just, to be fair, Grav is pretty expensive, but I think the reason is because you just didn't get a whole lot of damage in. I think you're spending too much time shooting shields and not enough time shooting enemies, but Zarya is one of these heroes that like is punished because like you can't really do much from this range, right? Sigma could have been better, I suppose, if you wanted to talk semantics. But I think at the end of the day, especially at this rank, it's really just what hero you feel comfortable with. And you do seem a little more comfortable on Zarya than you did on Winston. But I feel like you still miss a little too much. So yeah, I'd say I think it's the shield management for sure though, because like you just don't get you don't get that much energy. I feel like you use a lot of shields a little too soon or a little too late. Bubble timing is important.
Group up.
In those things. There was nothing you guys could do here. You were doomed. Your bubbles were not gonna push through them. Yeah, so I would say yeah, I would focus on learning better bubble management. And what I mean by like I say your main improvements that you could really get with bubbles is that you just have to try not to guess so much. It's not rocket science, right? It's like if your hog goes for a hook, that's a good time to bubble him. If your teammate gets hooked, that's a good time to bubble them. If you're like if you see a Nano Reinhardt running at one of your teammates, that's a great time to bubble them because he's going to want to swing his hammer. You really only want to bubble yourself if you feel like something, or you're about to either take a lot of damage, like you hear like a visor go off or something, or dead eye. But you should really time your bubble for that. But you know that's something you'll just have to learn. But I think your bubbles could be better. I wasn't impressed by any of your grabs except for the one when you double grabbed on second. The two tanks, I think that was a really good grab. This one here. This was a good grab. That was a good bubble too. Like this sequence of events went really well for your team, and I unfortunately don't get the Roadhog, but that's okay. I think it did tip the scales so that you guys could win this fight and get this point. This one was a whiff, I think, right? We just kind of whiff here. Also, you have to consider something here. I know you're not running shield, and you're technically the only bubble available, but if there's a Reinhardt, at some point you have to consider saving your bubble for his shatter, because no one on your team can stop him. So this Reinhardt has free reign to decide. He's like, I could just shatter whenever. And especially if he sees you use your bubble, he's like, now I really can. No one else can interfere with me. But I think not recognizing there's like dangers above you and just being focused more on this Reinhardt is just not indicative of just a little bit of a lack of awareness of what's going on around you. Don't be afraid to look around a little bit more. Oh, this was a really bad grab. Your team's already on the back foot, and like at worst, what's this run gonna do? Kill you guys and force you to reset again? Sure, but now you've like committed a resource to countering a resource that, even though you guys are gonna kill this Rhine, I guess it's not the worst grab ever. It could have, like, see, at the same time, you guys could have grabbed this, you know, and but, you know, you guys still lose a couple of people anyway. You almost die. Bob is off in Narnia. Bob is in a really good spot to block off their retreat, but, you know, just didn't play out that way. Okay, I feel like I've exhausted this for now. I'd say your bubble management is the #1 thing. In your positioning, I think you want to maybe stick a little bit more in front of your healers, not do these weird rotations, but also you need to rotate to deal with these problems. You can't just ignore a soldier on high ground. No one on your team should. Like, you could have just gone up there and like shoot him off, and that would be infinitely better than just standing there letting them rain hell at your team. Yeah, because you are technically the off tank. I mean, admittedly, kind of the main tank in this scenario, but off tank or main tank. If you're both running off tanks, then you both have to deal with this, not just Roadhog. Okay. I think it covers about everything. If you have any questions, feel free to respond to me in the comments. I have another one I was going to do today.